Hi Brad, Steve Yellen here again. I had a little a talk with Lynn yesterday, nice talk actually, and I just thought that if I just made a little video here and gave you just a little bit more perspective on what I teach, that it may be helpful for you. You know, I've been going to the U.S. Open and in golf and tennis for the past few years. And every time I go to a PGA tournament or every time I go to a professional tennis tournament, I'm just always amazed. First, I'll start with a tennis tournament. You know, in the early rounds of the U.S. Open, you go to the back courts. There's about 30 of them in Flushing Meadows. And you watch a first-round match, and you really can't tell the difference between a guy who's ranked 15 and a guy who's ranked 150. Literally, it's impossible to tell, because they both look so proficient and they both look so sound. And then something really interesting happens. They start the match, and the guy who's ranked 150 starts to lose some of his freedom. He can't do what he wants to do when he wants to do it at key points in a match. And of course, all it takes is 5 or 6 of these points, and the set is over, and then the match is over. And I see the same phenomena when I go to a PGA tournament. I was just up at the John Deere tournament this year, and I go to the driving range, and I look down the range, and I see 30 picture-perfect golf swings. And I'm saying to myself, how can anyone miss the cut? Who's not going to win this tournament on the range right now? And of course, you know, the mix changes every half hour or so. And then something really interesting happens when guys are on the course, is that they shoot over par, and they start missing their shots. Now, you find this in all levels of professional sports. I'm just much more familiar with tennis and golf because that's my background. And what our program does, it addresses this very important question of what happens when a swing breaks down, or what happens when a motion breaks down. What happens to that guy who's ranked 150, who loses his freedom at the U.S. Open in tennis, and what happens to the guy who doesn't make the cut at the John Deere? Well, as it turns out, it's the exact same phenomena that happens to both athletes. Now, the obvious answer is that, the pressure, the pressure of the situation. Well, fine. Everyone knows that's the answer to the question of why a swing breaks down. But over the past 30 years, I've refined that to a much more exact description of exactly what pressure is and exactly what processes in the mind are triggered to experience pressure, and more importantly, a systematic approach that allows someone to experience the same processes in the mind when they're on the range or warming up in a tennis match that they can take and experience, during the tournament. And the processes are identical. They're absolutely identical across the board with all athletes in all situations. Sports is all about motion. Motion is all about the muscles, and there's an operating system to the muscles. Now, what a sports psychologist does, he tries to press the right buttons so that you experience these processes in the mind. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. But if you know on a very descriptive level what these processes are and how to set them up so you experience them all the time, or as much as you can on that particular day, then you really have a heads up on the field. So, and this is what we do. And that's why our program works in all sports. We're working with 2 Major League Baseball teams. We're probably going to sign contract with at least 1 NBA team. I'm working with the guy on tour, PGA Tour. I work with a Division I tennis team, University of California, Berkeley, last year. They all love the program because I'm able to systematically set up very simply, but very powerfully and very repeatable, the same conditions that they experience when they play their best, which usually happens by chance. I'm able to set them up systematically by design. And, that can make all the difference in the world in making a cut or winning a tournament on tour. So I just wanted to give you a little heads up. I know you've gone down a road like this before with Lanny, but I'm a little familiar with this program. This program is very much different. It's not the same at all. There's no buttons to press. There's no, hope this works out. This is understanding motion from a very deep fundamental level, and understanding where motion comes from, and understanding how to set up the conditions so that you can repeat consistent, powerful, effortless motion. Okay, Brad, love to work with you. Ball's in your court. We'll catch you on the rebound. Over now.